I have no idea what day it is today.
No?
I think it's Saturday. I don't pay attention to stuff if I don't need to, because I have so many things I'm doing every day that I only look at the schedule for that day in the morning, but I don't look at it the day before. Really, I just kind of look at it and go, okay, cool, I gotta do this, this, this. But then when I'm off tour, it's different. Like I'm back in LA. I originally moved to LA because I married someone from LA, and then this record label stuff happened, and because I'd done 3 Milos records before, and I lived in Germany and Holland and Thailand and Canada, and I don't know, I just was like, okay, I'll live in LA. I tried it out, and just the Rhye project really took off, so I started touring a lot, and so I just kept my base in LA because all my musicians were from LA, so we'd rehearse in LA, then go, and then my bass player acquired this amazing recording studio that was Earth, Wind, and Fire studio, and now I record out of there, and that's in LA. And yeah, it's like an artistic hub right now for me. I'm not home very much. I've done around 500 shows in the last 5 years. So I'm always kind of, and I like to go places early to experience those cities, and so I'm pretty nomadic. I don't know, I travel a lot, so I get to go back to places, so, But first time I was in Taipei, I didn't get to experience it. So then we went back to Taipei, and we went early, and then we went into the country, and we went searching for these hot springs, and we did these traditional Thai tea ceremonies that are like a Taiwanese tea ceremony. And then I got to meet these older Thai people. I don't know, it was amazing to go back for that. Japan, I'm going back early this time. I'm going to go through the country, and I've also found these hot springs that I'm going to check out. And I want to film something in Japan. There's a couple of forests I want to film in because they just look so unique in Japan. But I want to go to Chichen Itza. I want to play in Argentina because I've never played in Argentina. I want to do Argentina, Peru, Colombia. I want to go back to Brazil. I want to do some more exploring the countryside in Brazil. There's other places. I mean, Africa is also really interesting to me. We just don't have any infrastructure to get my music into Africa and then tour, because it's hard to just tour if no one's heard of you, because it costs so much money to fly 7 to 9 people around, and so you have to play a certain size to not go bankrupt. I would love to do 2 months in Africa. And I've only been to Morocco, and I had a really scary experience when I was in Morocco, when I was 18. So I've always wanted to go back to that continent and then descend.
Reshape the...
Yeah, and just play different places. Whatever the song is about that I'm working on, I try to make sure that sonically it never strays from that. So you feel what it's about too, even if you don't know the words. If you don't speak English, hopefully you still understand what the song is about. Yeah. It's emotionally efficient, maybe. It's straight to the point. It's not masked in tons of effects. Well, I mean, for me, I only write songs about things that have happened to me in my life. I think it's insincere to write a song that you just wrote to make it sound cool or something. It feels unauthentic. And actually, I have a really big difficulty with music that feels unauthentic. If it doesn't feel real, I don't really want to listen to it. It doesn't resonate with me. So when I'm singing, I know what I'm singing about. When I see other people have emotional reactions to the music, that feels like the biggest reward, to be able to play a concert, see people react in a way that they're dropping in. They're there's this moment of they let down their guard, they drop into the feeling. I mean, people don't party at our concerts. They usually have a much more emotional experience, and I think that's what I'm doing. I think that's why I'm different than a pop artist, because they do pop, So. if you think about your whole life, you've been making music, and you finally get to this place where you can travel around the world and play concerts to different people in different countries. If I just was like, oh, I don't want to play today, that would be very spoiled. That'd be like a little kid almost, you know? I mean, obviously I'm a human being, so I have like emotions, and I get upset, and I get angry and sad and happy. I think what happens is music lets it out so that you don't just stay in the feeling. You get it out, and you allow yourself to just kind of not hold on to things in a negative way. You know that whole Gestalt therapy where they work on your body because you store trauma in your muscles and stuff? I think music is a form of therapy. It gets trauma out of your body, and it releases it. And then something that's happy, when you free happiness, it allows you to stay happy too. It does the opposite of sadness or anger. When you free anger, it goes away. But happiness, when you free it, it becomes, like, I feel good that I chose to make music, and I get to go to studios and work on music, and the people that I end up working with, we always have a really nice experience in the studio. I can tell people are having these emotional reactions. And doing the artwork for the album, I spent a year photographing my girlfriend just around the planet, and that was fun too. And none of it's work for me, because it's all really, I don't know, it's really enjoyable. I like doing it, or I wouldn't do it. So it's all just really good. Yeah, I felt really important to not use a model, to not use just someone I don't know. In fact, the original Rhye Woman record was a model, and it's always really bothered me that it felt inauthentic. It felt not real. And so when I was shooting Geneviève for the album cover, I kept coming up with all these photos. It just felt, I don't know, it just felt really true to show her. And that particular image on the cover, she was swimming in a glacier lake in Iceland. She was in the water, it was freezing. She came out, she was drying off in the sun, and I was just taking pictures of her. And when I was looking at all the pictures, because I had over 100 photos I was looking at, that one just kept standing out to me. It kept speaking to me, because it feels triumphant, and it doesn't feel, it doesn't even feel hypersexualized. Even though she's not wearing clothes, it feels like this just really interesting, powerful triumph. It feels like someone who overcame something, and a lot of this record is about triumphing, like getting over some bad things that happened in the music industry to me, and stuff like that. You know, I had to buy out this option for the second record, and that's just one element of things that happened to me over the last 4 years, and that record felt like it. I don't even understand the vibe yet of this place, because usually I get to see people come into a room and I can tell they're here for a show, and I don't even know if people know who we are tonight, or if they don't, or so I really don't know what to expect. I think I'm just gonna call out songs on stage, because I don't want to pre-plan it too much either, because if the crowd doesn't feel that they understand this gentle, sensual, maybe I'll make more hyped music. If they do feel like they can accept something really sentimental, then I'll go there. Sometimes I'll ask the crowd too. I'll be like, do you feel like listening to something happy or sad? Yeah. And then I'll try to hear what people are saying, and then I'll choose that. I also have 8 other songs that people don't realize that I'll do. I'll do old songs from my other project, Milosh, sometimes. And people are like, what is that? I have a couple songs that are not released yet that I'll fit into this set if I feel that I can take that chance with the crowd. I don't know, it's always a little bit different tonight, a little bit. I want to make a feature film. Yeah, I bought a Red camera and I started shooting my own music videos, and it's so much fun. And I really like where my mind is when I'm shooting is the same place my mind is when I'm recording. There's almost like this world opens up that I feel like I'm in this contained universe for a temporary period of time that's very creative. And there's even a different temperature in the room, and it just feels different. And that's what I notice when I'm filming stuff too, or photography. So I think then I would like to make a feature film. I mean, I already wrote a feature film, so I know exactly what it's about. It's about a couple, a man and woman, that they have these very weird experiences in Greece. I'm tied to some of the Greek mythology in the script, and that's why I want to be in Greece. Yeah, I mean, I don't really understand me outside of artistic expression. So, and I think I'm connected somehow to a type of sensuality in music and imagery and video. I don't know if it's erotic or sensual. I think it's sensual. Some people think it's erotic. I think it's sensual personally, but I understand why someone would say erotic. Yeah, and because it's personal to me and it's not just sexual or something. It feels very sensual because I think actually a lot of the themes in the songs sometimes people confuse as being super sexual, and they're not always. There's just a lot of like double or triple entendres and things that kind of create a bigger story. But yeah, I think there's more of like a intimacy or sensuality in the music rather than eroticism. Eroticism seems very surface, actually. Anything artistic or creative, if you can express it out of you, it automatically turns it into something you can be objective about, and you can look at it almost in the music or the artwork or the piece of writing that you wrote, and you can deal with it because it helps you process the feeling. The other thing is, I have this weird feeling that fate draws me to the right thing all the time. And even though there's been a bunch of bad things that have happened to me over the last 4 years, they all felt like they brought me to here, so then it's okay. And I was supposed to go through some of those difficulties to be here right now and make a record that sounds like this, because I feel it's the right record for me to make. I feel very confident that it's not, because I don't really care about record sales, you know? I care more about, is it the right record to be out in culture and in the world? And I feel if anyone criticizes me on the record, I could be like, well, but it's not for you necessarily. Maybe it's for someone else. Maybe it's not for you right now either, you know? But it has something to it that feels really, it carries like a resonant frequency within it that's the culmination of all my experiences, and those experiences brought together a record that I feel is ultimately cathartic. I love mixing the record. That was a lot of fun because I had all the songs done. I get to mix this to like a 90% done, and then I worked with this amazing mixer in England, this guy named Lex, and we spent a couple weeks mixing the record, and you get to kind of like re-listen to the songs with fresh ears and make a couple changes and get some different sounds going and different compressors, and mixing's a lot of fun actually, because then you're also learning because you're with someone who's hopefully better than you at what they do, and when you're always surrounding yourself with people that are better than you, like you're just constantly learning from them, and it's really, yeah, like I think it's better to make a record and then hire someone to mix it with you sitting there than going to university. I think you'll learn more in that 2 weeks from like someone who's dedicated their whole life to understanding mixing than you would learn in 4 years of university about music production. Because you're sitting there and you're asking really specific questions like, okay, this bass frequency, this kick frequency, how can we get them to not compete? Okay, why should we put it through this compressor or this preamp? Okay, if we EQ it like this, what does it sound like? And then you start to get this mind-body connection kind of thing, but like mind-mix connection. And it comes from just becoming very intimate with the music on a mix level. Also, the songs that I do, even though they sound simple or minimalistic, there's like 80 to 120 tracks in any song. So understanding how to balance 100 tracks over like a crazy frequency range from like bass frequencies to mid, to highs, and to get all of those colors represented, it's a really amazing challenge. And I don't know, I just would recommend anyone like make a record if you want to learn how to mix a record, and then hire someone who's better than you, and then ask them tons of questions, and be like kind of annoying. Just be like, oh yeah, how you do that? Why do you do that? Yeah.